Welcome to Market Matters. I'm Nadia Hassan together with Sulhi, Azman. Companies in the news. We saw this little snippet, ES Ceramics, and we've talked about this company actually a lot before. What they do is they do these hand molds, the ones that you see in the factories that dip for the rubber gloves. As such, their fate is very much tied to the rubber glove guys. Their basically CEO, Wong Fook Lin, actually came out and said, I have a plan. I have a dream. And what is the dream? The dream is to
move into the main board in the next 3 years.
Yeah, I know. I have dreams for unicorns. But anyway. The fact is, they're looking to transfer to the main board within 3 years. I think this is very apt, given that they said, given how they're growing. It's not, of course, new. They're not exactly breaking ground and they're not actually landing on Mars. But they think that usually when people move to main board, I think it just, in some instances, it gives you bigger cojones and basically more brand visibility. But the requirements are a bit strict to move, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, the SCA requirement, for instance, has laid out a few tests. The first one is a profit test where it has to have uninterrupted profit of 3 to 5 years with at least after a profit of 6 million ringgit. And then you have this market cap test. As ES is about 102 million ringgit and they have to have around 500 million ringgit in market cap. And they also need to have a positive cash flow from operating activities, which I think they have, but they also need to maintain sufficient levels of working capital for at least 12 months.
Well, if you look at their earnings, actually, definitely top line's up very modestly, bottom line also is up quite a bit. But the thing is, I don't think we've seen the effect that what we saw with MPI. These guys, again, are the same story. It is the USD story. It is basically benefiting because you're an export guy story. So that is the main issue about it. And I think they just have yet to kind of show the numbers, but obviously the way they're going and the way that the top glove, well, not top glove, I mentioned top glove specifically, but the local glove guys are going, their business seems to be quite solid.
They are going to ride the momentum growth from these folks because I think they're going to spend about some 3 billion ringgit in total to expand their plans. You have Hartalega, for instance, with their new generation complex. We have Top Glove, competing against one another. So growth in the rubber glove sector is definitely going to have a compounding effect to them.
Okay, for me, it's the same thing all over again. When will this party stop? At the moment, of course, looking at how things are, it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon. But it has been made a comeback since recording losses for FY 2011. So they have to be on their guard now if they want to reach this goal of 3 years, because the minute they slip into a red for whatever reason, whether it's exchange or not good management or anything like that, there goes another delay. But here's my thing. Would you want to transfer, or would you be happy where you are?
I think it would be good because you are going to graduating from the ACE market and to move into the
new but people like Intercom and everything like that, have they really benefited greatly from? That's a good question to ask them, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, it would be. Whether they have whether they are truly ready for them to be, to be moved into the market.
Well, sometimes maybe you're physically ready, but we'll have to see how that kind of goes. But anyways, just to wrap it all up, we're looking at ES Ceramics today. Their CEO has come out and said that within 3 years, we're going to be a big boy today. Basically, we're going to go to the big main markets. Their fate very much is tied with the glove makers, which are flying at the moment. But however, you still wonder when this USD party is going to stop. Moving on to our Insider Asia stock of the day, I am so sorry that they have finished their food series. I loved it as well because Charlotte and I just kept eating everything that they recommended. And the fact is, they're looking at going to a back old stalwart. Who are they looking at today?
They're looking at SCGM Bhd, which has interest in actually plastic industry, basically.
Yeah, they're actually up about 0.35% today to 2 ringgit 83. So this company has been recommended before. They are an old hand. They've actually come back into the block. And Insider Asia does note that almost all plastic packaging guys have been positive because, again, it's the USD and lower oil prices. And all the stocks in the sector have risen about 74% year to date. But they say that, even with the 74% rise, we think there's some good guys. And the good guys are all related to food and beverage.
And definitely, if you look at the valuations, right, Insider Asia says that the valuations do appear high at 18 times the PE ratios, but argues that there are still bargains to be had, especially those who are involved in the F&B sectors. Clearly, SCGM, right, they manufacture thermo vacuum form plastic packaging products, and this is are definitely going to be beneficial of the food sectors.
So yes, so exposure to food factors about 75%. It's always been the main thing for them. And here's the big thing: export accounts for almost half of its sales. And it's been having a compounded annual growth rate, or CAGR if you want to be fancy, of 76% from 2009 to up to now. So they want to continue going into export markets and also stuff like airtight and watertight containers. So what do you feel? about this?
I mean, I feel that there's always a lot of good things going in the plastic industry, for instance. And if you look at the exports, right, that shows that when the US dollar is strengthening, right, they are going to gain more in terms of earnings. But going into different and new sectors, that's going to be very exciting.
Well, what else does Insider Asia like? I mean, what's the usual checklist?
Well, I mean, a no-brainer there. We have defensive earnings, potential growth, and decent dividend yield of 3%. Now, that's a good thing. Would you buy, Nadia, a stock for a capital gain, or would you buy it for a dividend?
Actually, it depends on which part of my life I'm looking at, or what coffee I had this morning. It depends. I mean, seriously, because these guys definitely look very, 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 very solid. Actually, they still think that although they recommended the stock back in January and it's gone up a whopping 143.6%, they still think there's more to kind of grow. They have a new plastic cup line, which I never thought I'd say that sentence, has started production, expected to boost sales by 20% in 2016. But as you can see from their earnings, actually, all up quite solid, and even like net profit at the bottom up another, so very, very impressive, 40%. Here's the thing, will they be able to actually continue this trend?
Sustaining this trend, given the fact that we are going through turbulent economic times.
Yeah, I think that's the major thing for going on. But anyways, just to bring it all home to you, basically Insider Asia's stock of the day is let me just get this right, SCGM. They are a plastics involved manufacturer. They mostly do F&B. And that's why actually Insider Asia still likes them, despite the fact that their share price has risen about 143% odd over the past year. They still think there's room to grow, and they still think that it's because their exposure to export markets that will be a big, big plus for them. But that's all that we have for today. I'm Nadia Hassan, together with Sulhi Azman. All of this will be found on theedgemarkets.com. Also, we have a whole bunch of other videos as well, news snippets. I think Sulhi here went to a sugar factory. We can all take a look at him wearing a hard hat. But you can check out all of that at theedgemarkets.com. The physical papers are always there for you if you want something tangible to touch. In the meantime, guys, have a good day. Have a good night.